Hey guys, Kane here, and in this video we're gonna talk about the Covenant and what you can do to upgrade as well as the unit stats. Before we go on to the animal, we have to touch on some of these unit stats because it may not be efficient to go for a few of them. So, starting with attack speed, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't really have a soft or a hard cap, though I may not be too sure on the soft cap or even a maximum value which the armies or ranged units can have. So if you would be going for this, you would have to try and inspect this stat, whether or not it actually increased more, or it increased less, or it didn't increase at all. So do keep that in mind. Accuracy, I would not suggest for anyone that is not early game to actually acquire this or even not re-roll this or stuff like that. Accuracy, you can get like 40-50% from the last tier in the archer research, as well as crit rates, which we're gonna talk in a second. And the evade chance on tanks like stacks up to like 90%. And everything in terms of evade chance gets soft and hard capped so much that from 85 to 90% you require like 40% of evasion, and it will only grant you 5%. Like, that kind of soft and hard capping is what people should be aware of. So you should not go for evade chance as well. Crit rate, I equipped a 5% crit rate anima, and it only increased 1% or close to 2%. So essentially, it's not really one of the better stats as well. Though, if you don't have the archer last research tree maxed to get like 25% more crit rate, you may want to add like a couple, I suppose, to just increase this number. It's up to you, but I would highly, and I do mean highly, suggest for people to go for critical hit damage. The thing is, most other stats you can acquire from almost everywhere. Critical hit damage actually increases by quite a lot, and you're able to even get about up to 500% crit damage from that feature, as well as the troop equipment, and that is a friggin' huge amount. So currently we have 265, right? So let's remove 16%, and you can more or less check that the crit hit damage is reduced by 16%. So it doesn't have soft or hard caps, at least from what I noticed at the moment. So everything you get, everything is added up, which means they can do incredible amounts of damage. So do keep that in mind. This is the best stat that you can work on. Now, enemy crit rate reduction, I haven't actually got an anima with it, or I accidentally converted it, so I didn't test it. So do keep that in mind. I'm not sure how well this one in particular scales. Crit hit resistance is actually hard capped so much that I don't think I would advise people to focus it again. I think it doesn't have a cap up until like 50, maybe 80%, and after that, like, that hard cap becomes insane, like literally insane. So essentially, I wouldn't really suggest, since from just the troop equipment, most tanks already have this max or almost to like 90%. So not worth it. Now, in terms of healing received, it depends which kind of a unit you're going for, but healing received is actually one of the better stats which you can get. Now, to show you another example, we have to go towards the trees that I have. So as you can see, the healing received is 139. So do keep in mind that number when I unequip, let's see, even, it's a better example with 12%, right? So I removed 12%. And let's check how much it dropped. So it had 139. So it dropped by 18%, which means that 12% in healing received pretty much raised by 50% from like other features, or I do believe it's raised from, yeah. So this particular enhanced living armor increases any healing received by 50%. So if you get 12%, you get additional 6. So that is friggin' overpowered. Now, the thing about it is that you can actually scale the healing received to like 200, maybe more than 200%. And you don't really need to worry about physical resistances because they have an incredible amount already. Though the thing about the trees is that they're very susceptible to HP percent damage, which is Sylvani archers or Lich mages. So all units, even those mages, they have like a base value attack, which, or rather, the base attack value attack, which then gets scaled by crit hit damage, artifacts, all that kind of stuff. It hits the tree and then it gets reduced by these resistances. While after that hit, that HP percent procs, or even during that hit, and it does not get reduced. So there's like a few procs of like that particular damage, and some of it gets reduced, but the HP percent does not. Which is why you see the trees falling rather quickly to Sylvani archers as well as some of the Lich mages, so do keep that in mind. While majority of the other archers get some severe reductions in their capability. Now, in terms of the resistances, I kind of would not really suggest for people to go for it unless they're playing, or rather, they can actually go for them. But in terms of the 1 second, where is that piece of gear? In terms of reduced damage taken. Now, this particular one is like damage reduction in general. It actually works on both the magic and the physical resistance. So if you get a couple of those, that is actually pretty frigging good. Now, that aside, upgrading the animas. So personally, I spent Linari in terms of the shop and buying some Purify stones because I wasn't really lucky with the second one and I got some research stuff. Though I've made a few mistakes which I'm gonna explain now, which you can easier upgrade them and perhaps get stats you require. So, whenever I opened the 100 boxes from the Crisis Prophecy event, I did actually get a few crit hit damages, but only on these couple of gears, which I already had. And I kind of converted them since I thought, man, I'm not gonna need them anymore. Like, they're useless. And that was my mistake. The thing about it is, you can, in a sense, not purify, but upgrade that piece of gear again and kind of have another role on this. So by that I mean you can just take this equipment off or anima and you can essentially convert it. And none of those, I think, animas destroy themselves or become unused or stuff like that. Everything just gets added up into this, or rather, transformable echo stone value, and then you can redo the thing and have another role so long as you have like a couple more of these particular same type animas. So for example, if I would want a new one, I have like a locked one here for crit hit damage, and then I require 4 more to like level to level 5 and some 10 to just upgrade it again. That was probably like a doozy for you to understand, but basically, long story short, if you do manage to get crit hit damage, do not destroy it, lock it, and if the first gear that you get doesn't get a stat that you require, you can just go on ahead, smelt it, uh, unlock that locked one which you had, equip it, upgrade it to level 10, check if you have a good stat again. If you don't and you have another locked one and stuff you can upgrade it with, then smelt this one again and then go to that piece of gear, equip it again, and then upgrade it again and stuff like that, in such a way you don't really lose out on resources and you don't really require to buy the pure stones. But just to be sure, gain through, it doesn't say anything about stuff being destroyed in terms of the conversion. Echoes are used when you will receive, yeah, so when transfiguring you will receive an equivalent amount of echo stones to be used to upgrade, rank up, or awaken. So I believe what it says here, it just literally gives everything back in terms of the echo stones. So yeah, do keep that in mind. There is another way that you can go for it in terms of at least getting 2 proper secondaries than just buying the purified stones. So yeah, The feature itself is pretty friggin' god awful because it took me like, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes to sort everything out, to just try upgrade something. Some stuff I even forgot to lock. Perhaps it's gonna be a bit faster later, but I prefer stuff which is like this. You just click a button, right? And you upgrade everything. You click a button here, like you upgrade it. Like, why make a system which is so frigging cancer that to upgrade one to level 10 you would require to level 4 pieces to level 5, then merge them together, then level them again, and then you can make a pink one, or rather a purple one. Now, to make a level 20, right? I'm gonna require like friggin' 20 or 30 level 5 pieces of the same type or stuff like that to just upgrade. Like, it becomes friggin' insane and a huge like time waste. Like, I don't know, man. Like, every game I played, they released a feature like this. It had become cancerous to the point like it really becomes an annoyance. Like, they can just literally add up the entire costs required, and we just click breakthrough. Like, why make people spend so much time just trying to level up others if you can just one click and upgrade? Like, it's friggin' 2022. Like that feature was friggin' released in games at like 2002, 2003 in RPG games. Like, man, people don't want to spend hours in this particular feature. Just make it a lot easier to, like, a lot better, or rather, just make it a lot more user friendly. I mean, why make a complicated feature when it can actually be pretty easy? Now, that is just a little bit of ranting in terms of the upgrade system, which is like god awful, but in terms of stats, the feature is actually pretty good. It costs a lot to actually upgrade stuff in terms of like the sets, and personally, I would just call it incredibly expensive, and I would not suggest people to buy stuff like that. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Hopefully it was useful to you, and if it was, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care and stay safe out there.